here, aka Crafting Diva. Thank you so much for joining me on my YouTube channel today. Hope you're all doing well. If you're new to my channel, big hello and welcome. I'm Lisa, and if you're an existing subscriber, thank you so much for joining me again today. Hopefully today I'm going to have a little tutorial video for you all, so please bear with me. I'm not the best at doing these, so yeah, please bear with me. But at the beginning of this video you will see that I inserted a little clip of some storage boxes that I've just designed and made. These are all handmade by me, and I was looking for a storage solution for my Tim Holtz stamps and stencils, and I wanted a box that would fit flat on the side of my Hobbycraft trolley. If you're in the United States or out of the UK, there is lots of different versions of this craft trolley. Us crafters absolutely love. It's the 3-tier trolley. And like I say, here in the UK we really do struggle with storage ideas and products we can buy. So I wanted a flat box that would sit on the side of my trolley to hold my stencils and stamps. So they were right by my desk. I could easily get the stencil out I wanted or the stamp I wanted to use, and they were just easy access. I couldn't find anything, so I thought I'd have a go at making something myself. Had no idea how I was going to do it, so I just went for it, and they turned out quite well. I shared some pictures of my little boxes on the Facebook group Tim Holtz Addicts, and I was absolutely blown away with the response I had. So many lovely kind comments from all the followers of that page, and yeah, I kept getting requests of, can you do a tutorial of how you made these? And yes, so that's what I'm going to try and do for you today. So like I say, please bear with me. I will try and do this as clear as I possibly can for you all. So today's video I'm going to show you how I made my stencil box. As you can see, this is a bit narrower at the side compared to the stamp box, because obviously the stamps take up more space and they are rather heavier. So today I'll show you how I made the stencil box with some measurements, and then in part 2 I will show you how to make the stamp box. So to make the stencil box, we're going to do this one first of all. As you can see, it's a nice box with a nice opening at the front, so you can easily get your hand in to get your stencils out. And as you can see at the back of the box, you have a little slot that I cut out so that the little clip that I add to my craft trolley will fit through the little slit, and the box will hold onto the trolley at the side like so. So to make one of these boxes, what you will need is 2 pieces of A4 cardstock. I would recommend a bit thicker cardstock if you have it, but to be honest, you're best to reinforce the box anyway, because especially for the stamp box, it's going to hold quite a bit of weight, so you do want to reinforce your box if possible. So like I say, you want 2 pieces of A4 cardstock, and I'm going to be using my Score Easy tool to do my scoring, and my measurements are going to be in centimetres. I will leave those in the description box below for you all. So to get started, you want to take a piece of your A4 cardstock and you want to lay it long ways down on your scoring board or scoring mat. You could easily mark these with a ruler and then score your lines. If you have got a scoreboard, you want to place your piece of A4 cardstock right up into the corner of your scoreboard, and we want to do a score at 3 centimetres all the way down the piece of A4 cardstock, so that's 3 centimetres. Then we want to score at 15 centimetres again all the way down the piece of A4 cardstock, and then our final score is going to be at 18 centimetres, and again all the way down the piece of A4 cardstock. So that is 3 centimetres, 15 centimetres and 18 centimetres. Like I say, I will leave a link and the measurements in that description box below. Then you're left with this piece of cardstock here to the side that we want to cut off, because we do not actually need that for our little box. So let me just bring in my paper trimmer, and we want to find the little score line and cut that piece of excess card off. We don't actually need that. So now you've got your scars on your piece of card. We want to turn our piece of A4 card around, and we want to score at 3 centimeters at the bottom of our piece of card. So that is another score at 3 centimeters. So then you're left with your design like so. We want to obviously repeat that again on another piece of card. So let's quickly do that again. Put your piece of A4 card, score at 3 centimeters all the way down, 15 centimeters all the way down, and 18 centimeters all the way down. Want to cut off that excess piece of cardstock like so. That we don't need, and then we want to turn our piece of card and score at 3 centimeters at the bottom. So let me just move the scoreboard so hopefully you can see. So then we've got 2 pieces of card, exactly the same scores. So now we want to take our card and we want to make some little folding tabs at the bottom. So we cut along this score line of the little squares, and we want to give our little scores a fold so it will be easier to put our box together. So we've got that. Now we want to make these into little tabs, and I recommend that we cut these like so to make some little triangles like so. Let's just get that piece off so that when we fold our box up, oh, I've cut that one slightly wrong, but you get the idea. You make little tabs at the bottom to fold your little box up. So we want to do that again here. So again, cut along our little squares, fold our score lines so they're nice when we want to put our box together. Like so, and again we want to cut these into a little triangle shape so that when we fold this up it will fold up nicely. So as you can see, we've got these tabs at the bottom now. So now you've got a back and a front of your box. So if we say this is going to be the back of our box, this is the point that I would recommend that you put another piece of card in the back of the box and to the back of the box there to reinforce it. Like I say, especially for the stamping box, you need to really reinforce that. Now to make the little tab that your clip will go through, basically all I did to make this was I just come down a little way from the top of the box and just drew a little rectangle. You can do this really neat and get a ruler and measure it and everything like that, and just hold your little clip up to check that you have got it wide enough that the clip will go through. And then I've just took a craft knife, and then you just want to cut that slot out. Obviously be really careful when you're doing this if you're using a craft knife, because obviously if you have reinforced your back, this is going to be a little bit tough because you've got a few layers of cardstock. So just take your time to cut your little slot out like so, and then you've got your slot at the back of your box that your little clip will go through once it's held on your trolley. So now we want to put this together. So this is going to be the back of our box, so we want to stick this together. So let's get some glue. Let's get some glue onto the tabs like so. Let me just get a little clip to hold that so it can be drying while we sort the front of our box out. So plenty of glue. I would recommend you use glue and some sort of sticky tape, like double-sided tape. Red tape is good, but that is, once it's stuck, it's stuck. So yeah, I recommend maybe double-sided tape and glue. So this is the back of our box, and this is going to be the front of our box. So we just let that dry for a second, the glue. As this is the front of our box, we want to trim a little bit off the top so that we can easily get our hand into the box to get the stencil or the stamps out. So we want to trim this one down a tiny bit. So what I do is measure from our bottom score line, and I cut my stencil box at 19 centimeters. So if we measure 19 centimeters, and then if we bring my trimmer back in, we want to just trim that top edge off so that the front of the box is a tiny bit shorter, so we can easily get our hand into our box to get our stencil or our stamp out. So now hopefully this glue has gone off. That is the back of our box, and we want to stick our front of our box onto the front. As you can see, it's going to look like that. So I recommend that you glue your tabs first and then stick it on like that. So let's put some glue onto this side of the front of our box. Again, I would recommend glue and tape for this so you get a nice hold. And then you want to line that up with the side of the box. Now this is where we may have a bit of trouble, because you know glue doesn't like to go off when you are filming. So let's try and get that lined up as best we can and get the glue to take. Let's give it a bit of a squeeze. So now we want to put some glue along this edge. Again, 100% would recommend you use tape and glue, because you really want a nice hold to your box. So let's try and get this side to stick as well. Let's check we've got our bottom lined up. Yep, that's not too bad. Obviously you would take a lot longer to get your measurements all lined up nicely. Let's just give that a rub so hopefully the glue will go. And then at the bottom, we just want to add some glue to our bottom tabs, like so, when the glue will come out, and you just want to hold those there. And again, to the very bottom, add some glue. And again, I would recommend reinforce your bottom, put some more layers of card to the bottom of your box. And like I say, you can always add some more to the sides and the insides. I will show you my completed box in 1 second, and I will show you. But as you can see, that is your completed box. And again, like I say, add some card, add some decoration, make it really nice, strong little storage box for yourself. You could adapt this and make it any size you want. I've just done it so it will hold my stamp and stencil, but you can make it shorter or longer depending on what cards size you are using for your bases. So that is your basic box that will sit on the side of your craft trolleys like so. Oh, let me get the clip in. Like so. So that will hold onto your craft trolley through the little clip. And as you can see from my completed box that I've done, I made mine with black cardstock. Like I say, really reinforced it with lots of layers of cardstock. I've used this wood grain effect paper to really make it look like a little wooden box. And then I've just decorated it to go with my stencils and stamps. I've used my Timmerholz stencils, some of the stamps, my die cuts, added a little metal key, some little stars, these little black embellishments, some little cogs, and then I die cutted the word stencils. And yeah, just really nice strong box, sits lovely on the side of my trolley, so handy to get my stencils and stamps out, and just think it turned out really well for not knowing what I was doing. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope I've explained it quite well for you. I hope you can follow my instructions. Like I say, I will leave those score sizes in that description box below. Any questions, please feel free to leave them in that comments box below. I'll try and answer answer them as best I can. I've tried to do the tutorial as best I can, so I hope it was clear and you could see what I was doing. I'd love to read any of your comments. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and watch out because I'll do part 2 and I will try to show you how we can make a thicker, wider box that will hold stamps in the next video. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd love you to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new to my channel. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye for now.